Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. She didn't want to be his little girl. Behind his eyes he masked evil. His little girl, perfect for him. No one would have believed her, she only had him. He took her trust too far as he leant over his daughter, doing things daddy shouldn't do to their little girls, confusing her little mind, his little secrets, her nightmare. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. She didn't want to be his little girl. They only had each other after her mother walked away. How could a mother be so cruel? The little girl kept her mouth shut, kept her secrets, letting it ruin her innocent words. No one to turn to, couldn't say anything. Nowhere to run, no one to talk to. As he leant over his daughter, doing things daddies shouldn't do to their little girls, confusing her little mind, his secrets, her nightmare. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. She didn't want to be Daddy's little girl. Never allowed to say no, even when she grew up. Daddy loved watching her walk, begging her for a show, telling her to keep her clothes off. She knew right from wrong, he knew wrong from right. There she is, his for the taking, as he leant over his daughter, doing things daddies shouldn't do to their little girls, confusing her little mind, his secrets, her nightmare. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called him. She didn't want to be his little girl. Turning 16, older, looking better, just like a young woman, locking herself away from the world, begging for a way out. Couldn't live in a room forever, struggling each day, try to find any excuse to stay out late, finding another excuse not to come home. Was in fear, didn't want to be his little girl. As he leant over his daughter, doing things daddies shouldn't do to their little girls, confusing her little mind, his secrets, her nightmare. Found a bunch of pills, tried drinking away the disgust. She cried long enough, she screamed not long enough. She screamed for help way too long. No one's believing her, always in trouble. The law knows her by her first name, begging them to send her away. They send her back home, waiting for daddy's special punishments. As he leant over her, doing things daddy shouldn't do to their little girls, his secret, her nightmare. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. She didn't want to be his little girl. She was supposed to turn 18 today. She found a permanent way out. No one listened to her, no one helped her, left her in harm's way. Daddy's little girl is flying high, getting the peace she deserved. All she wanted was help and someone to save her. All she begged was for a savior, someone to save her. All she wanted was to be free. Now her lights are out, daddy's got no princess anymore, wondering what went wrong with his darling daughter. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. Daddy's little girl, that's what they called her. She didn't want to be daddy's little girl. She didn't want to be daddy's little girl. That's what they called her. She didn't want to be. That's what they called her. She didn't want to be. Now she's flying high. So, Daddy's Little Girl seems pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully I put a warning note before I made this video and posted it, because I know some people may trigger. So if you kind of didn't get the would help if I could speak. If you didn't get the context of Daddy's Little Girl, Daddy's Little Girl is actually not really inspired by anything in particular. I guess I was kind of listening to songs and trying to figure out what to write next, and that's where it came from. And I know it's a situation that's hard for people in it, and there isn't really anything to be said besides the usual get out, stay safe, whatever. And the trauma does stay with you forever, and I guess no amount of therapy you can go through can actually help you get rid of all the stuff that you've been through, unfortunately. Hopefully it does, but I guess I'm not a therapist, so I can't make any promises. And I mean, if you can find a way out, get out. If you can't, then keep yourself safe. I really don't know what to say, because this is a topic that needs to be tread lightly when talking about, but it needs to be heard for victims to finally feel like the weight of the world is lifted off their shoulders, and to finally feel like that it wasn't their fault that this happened, and to feel like that maybe one day they can finally come to terms with it, I guess. I don't know, honestly. I wrote it, and I don't know how to talk about the topic because I wrote it, and I guess I don't really want to say I'm lucky, but I guess that sounds insulting to say. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go because I don't know what to say without, insulting both sides of the party, 3 sides of the party. I don't know, whatever you wanna. But yeah, if you can, get out. If you can, find safety. If you can, tell somebody. Fingers crossed they believe you, because sometimes it is hard to be believed. But with the Me Too movement happening, hopefully people can believe you a lot more than they used to. I don't know. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry this is happening to you, and I'm sorry you went through it, and I generally don't know what to say that can make it feel better. I'm sorry.